Hello my dear viewers and welcome to another video. I was on vacation in Greece last week and I got this bag of phones from one of our friends there, and today we're just going to be testing them, taking a look at them and seeing if they work, which ones are in need of repair and if anything needs to be done to them. Interesting how there's a couple of pieces of a case left over in the bag, along with the chargers. However, we're not going to take a look at them now. Okay, I've taken all the phones out of the bag, and we're going to test them one by one. Now, I have charged them up, but I haven't really taken a very deep look into them. However, there were some wallpapers on them that were photos of people, so I just had to remove them for the sake of this video. And the first phone we're taking a look right here is this LG B220. Not a particularly interesting phone if I'm being honest. I mean, it's a basic phone, made for calls and text messages, and that's about it. It's most likely meant to be as cheap as possible, given that it has this revised LG logo, and the whole thing just feels very cheap. As a burner phone, I'd say it's pretty good, but like, anything beyond that, not really. It is also MediaTek based. It has a built-in FM radio, and not much else really. It's tiny and very lightweight, and yeah, couldn't really say much more about this other than the fact that it works. So we're just gonna power it off and move on to the next phone. The next candidate is this Nokia 113, which looks to be in absolutely immaculate condition, not having a single scratch, and not even on this plastic protector for the screen, which is quite amazing given that these are often very scratched up when I see them. It's like someone ran them over with sandpaper. This one also works. It is a Series 40 Nokia phone, which I'd say is actually pretty good because you could run Java games on these. This has a lower resolution display than other Nokia phones, but like, it does its job quite well. And the phone itself actually feels quite nice. And it actually feels much better than the LG we took a look at just now. And here you can actually put a SD card in and listen to music, take photos with this camera, which is frankly not great, but like, you have it, so you might as well use it. But yeah, other than that, this is a pretty good phone, works just fine. I tested it earlier with my Vivacom SIM card and it's not carrier locked despite the global branding. So yeah, couldn't really complain. It's working perfectly. On to our next phone. Next up is this Nokia 5800 Express Music. It turns on and it works. However, it has one pretty big issue, which basically makes this phone unusable. The display doesn't work. Pressing the physical buttons and sliding the switch on the right does get the phone to react, to unlock and lock, and it works. except for the display, which not even the backlight turns on, and yeah, it's just not working. It's in need of a repair, which is going to be done in another video. Oh yeah, the touch also works. We're now entering the Android territory. This is a Moto G Falcon from 2013, and it has something that really annoys me. Why? Battery not user removable. Well then why do you make the back cover removable? And another thing, this doesn't even have an SD card slot. But other than that, it is a pretty good phone. It's small, fits quite well in my hand, and it also has this pebble shape like the Galaxy S3. Let's turn it on. And we're in Android 5 Lollipop. It works quite smoothly, and it does have some apps left over from the previous owner, including the, brain rot app. But other than that, it's perfectly fine, and it's running Android 5.1 Lollipop. But this phone works quite well. On to the next one. Next up is this Lenovo A536 with this disgusting leftover of a case. Blech. This one literally looks like it's from a Happy Meal of all things. It looks very cheap, ugly, and honestly it feels like that too. It's very hollow and lightweight, and somehow it feels even worse than its little brother, the A328, which was supposed to be a cheaper and even more shitty version of this. And yet, this one feels somewhat better, and looks better. For starters, this has 4 gigs of storage and 512 megabytes of RAM, and this has 8 gigabytes of storage and 1 gigabyte of RAM. Now the 512 megabytes here were a bit of a problem with custom ROMs, as well as the 4 gigabytes of storage because of how limited it is. There was barely enough space for the operating system, and you couldn't even format an SD card as part of the internal storage because there wasn't enough of a buffer in the internal storage. It was constantly full no matter what you do. And this phone was pretty much unusable. Meanwhile, this one, at least in theory, should be better to some extent. However, if I'm being honest, I do not like how this looks. Let's turn it on. This is Vibe UI, Lenovo's scan on top of Android. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't like it. Sure, it is close to stock Android, but like, these icons just look very goofy. And the previous owner was a kid, so obviously the home screen would be a mess, and there would be lots of games on it. But like, it works, and it's running Android 4.4.2 KitKat. And this display is pretty awful too. You tilt it off angle a little bit and it becomes basically unusable. However, what could you expect from a bottom of the barrel budget phone from 2014? I don't like this one all that much. But like, I guess I have it now. And to think that I was gonna buy one of these all those years ago. knowing full well I'm gonna be disappointed. And now I got one for free. So yeah, probably not gonna use it much. And for the last phone of the lot, we have this, which in contrast to the A536 looks beautiful. This is the Xiaomi Redmi Note 2, and it's one of their very last phones to have a removable back and a removable battery. Something we took for granted at the time. Also, please do not do this. Otherwise you can wreck the SIM card slot. I mean, here it's not much of a problem, but like, not all SIM slots are created equal. Because I actually absolutely wrecked my LG KE970's SIM slot by leaving an adapter in there. Let's turn it on. It runs Android 5.0.2 Lollipop on top of MIUI 9.6. It has 2 GB of RAM, 16 GB of storage, and it says octa-core max 1.95 GHz, but it's a Helio X10. I don't like MediaTek's, but I mean, it's a free phone, so I couldn't really complain. This one has one pretty serious issue, and it's the fact that the navigation buttons do not work. I have to navigate it using this click ball. Basically a copy of Assistive Touch, but on MIUI. But it works. And if it works, I can't complain. But yeah, other than that, it is in pretty mint condition. In fact, I think the display doesn't even have a single scratch on it. It doesn't even have a case or screen protector. Yeah, it's absolutely immaculate. So yeah, I can turn this one off and call it a day and fix that at a later date. And there we have it. We've tested this entire lot of phones, and this one's gonna get its own video in the near future if I manage to source a display. Now, I most likely have a phone for parts that I can use the display from, so we're gonna see. I would definitely expect a restoration video on this, even though I'm really just gonna be replacing the display. It's not gonna be a full restoration. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video as well, and if you want more videos like this, you can consider subscribing to my channel. And I'm gonna try to make more videos whenever I can. Anyway, hope y'all have a great day, or night, or whenever you're watching this. And yeah, thanks for watching this video. Bye.